Stop. I can't take it anymore.
Oh, I do the live ones too. Yes, I know. I saw your act in the theater. You're really quite good.
Quite a certain harmful habit.
Stop it now, I need it.
Hello and welcome back. We are breaking up with RBS. This is episode number 65, and I am Tawny Santabria.
And I'm JDK Winnikin, and we are back together again in the studio.
I'm so nervous. Haven't been in a while.
Do you feel like you're
Yikes.
out of practice?
I am a little bit out of practice, but I think it's like you get it back up on the horse or the bike or whatever. Yeah.
The bike.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
absolutely. Yeah. But
yeah.
it is good to see you again. Welcome back.
Thank you.
All right. I'm really excited. Like that music, the lead-in music was like celebratory for me because I wasn't sitting in here by myself.
You're like,
so much more fun.
"Yay!"
So much more fun when you're here, in that sense. But anyway, so
Yeah.
so is it are things like for you like they are for me? Lots going on and
Oh, yes.
busy time.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Well, is there ever a time where there's not lots going on? I feel like that's the topic of conversation all the time. Oh, we're so busy here and I got lots going on and all the things, and I'll get to that when I can get to that. And and then life goes on.
Right. Maybe it gives us an entry point into chit-chat conversations. I'm so busy. So we like to say we're busy.
We do like to say we're busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a lot of different reasons,
Yeah,
I think.
I think so too. And then I'm also sitting here wondering too, then does that imply that if we answer by saying, I'm not doing a damn thing, that means that we're somehow saying we're lazy or,
Well, we should run an experiment.
Okay.
We should start letting people know we're doing absolutely nothing.
That's a great
And
idea.
then we just kind of see like what happens next when we do this.
Oh, that could be fun.
It could be fun. It could be fun.
That
But I think that lots of people are doing things though. But I am going to try that because it does sound like it would be fun.
That does sound, I think that would be really fun because the implication, of course, is that we have to talk about what the things we're doing in order for people to be interested or for us to have something worth talking about.
Well, and we like to appear interesting. So if we are doing things.
That's true. And then sometimes we like to appear interested. We might ask somebody what's going on, and then they give us an answer. We're like, oh, I didn't really want to know that.
We didn't want to know all of
We
it.
didn't know all of that. I just wanted, busy was fine. You saying you're busy was fine. You laying out all 17 things.
Yeah.
I got somewhere to be, Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh, isn't it
Yes.
amazing? Even in the most, the basic normal interactions, we can have those.
The stories just come right out.
Boom.
Yep. Automatic pilot.
Yep.
Boom. Here they are.
Yep.
Yeah.
I am excited. I do actually have some resting time coming up, which is really looking forward to.
What are you going to do?
I hadn't even thought that far ahead yet. It's which I absolutely love.
You're just doing things underneath the resting title.
I don't know where I'm going to go to rest. I don't know what I'm going to, where
What's this resting thing going to look like?
Am I just going to lay in bed? I don't think so. But see, for me, for rest can also be like getting out and going for a walk and going for a hike feels restful to me, relaxing.
Sure.
Going to a new place can feel that way, even if it's involves some getting there and some time and cost or whatever. But
so you're just going to do what you want to do.
I'm going to do what I want to do
okay.
and not have it be necessarily the things that normally are on the busy list.
Oh, so you've got a rest list.
I don't know if I got a
I don't
rest
know.
list.
I've never heard of a rest list. It's hard to even say.
Rest list.
Rest list.
Because then people think you're saying restless.
Right. But it sounds like you're maybe going, you're going to let the busy list just kind of hang out and not really pay attention to it.
I am.
And you're going to maybe utilize a rest list.
I think so.
Oh, yeah,
I think so. I hadn't quite thought about it that way, but I think that's kind of a great idea.
Yeah.
But I would want to keep it as something that would just be kind of a reference list to choose from rather than gotta do it.
Right. Well, who really does all of their busy list? I mean, let's get real, because here's what I've been hearing from people is their list is so long And it's so difficult to get through the list
Mm.
that the list is a constant list.
Yeah.
Even though they want to get the list all the way done before they leave work or something like this,
Sure.
but they can never get the list done.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of an ironic sort of thing, but they just keep putting things on the list.
Mm-hmm.
So do we really even get the busy list done? Right? There's just this kind of strange thing about that, I think.
Yeah, it reminds me of that old I Love Lucy episode where she's working the candy line and she's trying to, that famous
Yes.
scene where she all of a sudden it starts speeding up and she keeps
Mhm.
having to throw the chocolates in her mouth and everybody's laughing and
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
how it is.
that's how it is. It's like one after the other. It never stops.
Mhm. Mhm.
Unless you stop to ask yourself, why am I working this candy line?
Right.
Maybe I need a different job
Have
or
I had enough candy?
not enough candy. Yeah.
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 Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and my busy list, I don't really think about it necessarily that way. I try to when I'm going through my day, if I have important things to do, I try and do things in groups of 3. I don't know, 3 seems manageable to me. Like I, wake up, okay, these are the 3 things that ideally would be good to get done today. Could be for
Mhm.
work, could be for something else. I try and keep it there, and then I try not to hold on too tightly to it because you never know how
Mhm.
the day is going to go.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
so I don't know if I'm busy or if I'm doing lots of things.
Yeah.
What
Okay.
I can say is I'm kind of in this interesting spot where there's nothing in my life right now that I don't really enjoy doing.
Well, you're lucky.
Is it luck though? I don't know. I'm fortunate.
Well,
Feel good.
mhm.
Feel
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
But I do have stuff going on a lot. So I am busy. But it doesn't feel I think the way when I used to talk about being busy,
Yeah.
it feels different than when I talk today about being busy.
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't know why.
Hmm. Um, I wonder if what comes up for me when you say that is the difference around intention.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know. I wonder if a lot of times the things on the busy list are things that we either feel like we should do, things that will help us to feel accomplished,
We gotta do, quote
right?
unquote.
Things that are just, things that we have to, mundane things that, help us to
Mhm.
feel sort of very, very productive by the end of the day if we can cross things off. There's something about crossing it off, right? That people really enjoy. And so we'll slap all kinds of things on there so that we can do the cross off, right? But then there's always the things that we don't want to do that are on that list that never get crossed off
Mhm.
because we just didn't do them to cross them off.
Mhm.
So that's the funny thing about the busy list is it's like we get a lot of different feelings about utilizing this busy list. And it sounds like for you, you're just doing things that you feel connected to.
When I feel connected to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it depends on what it is. Like, I've got responsibilities and, work that things have to get done. At the same time, I'm much better now about going, okay, which of these are really the ones I need to do first?
Mhm.
And fortunately, more and more time goes by, less and less stress comes with it,
Mhm.
seems like, which is
Mhm.
good. Um, so yeah, I guess it's not always, I don't cross anything off. I don't. I don't. Like, if I have to make a list, like, if I'm going somewhere, like, I might make a list of everything I need to take with me
Mhm.
because I will forget something, and
Mhm.
I don't like that because then I have to go buy it. It's not the worst thing in the world, but if I just wrote down a list that's included toothpaste, toothbrush, dental floss,
Mhm.
and that helped me remember to take the stuff I already have, I wouldn't have to go to the store and get it.
Right. So that would be things to take with me list.
Yeah,
That wouldn't be a busy
that's
list.
not a busy list.
Right.
No, that's just I
Yes.
need to do this list.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I guess I don't really make a whole lot of lists around
Oh,
that
yeah.
anymore
Yeah.
because now I might put up reminders.
Sure.
That will happen sometime, like, "Oh, I haven't looked at that thing in a while," or, "Oh, yes, I need to do that." So I might put a reminder up to try and keep it up
Mhm.
in my consciousness a little bit more.
Mhm.
But boy, I really like now that I'm sitting and thinking about it, I really like the fact I'm not making a list every single day.
The list can be quite overwhelming. I've talked to a lot of people over the years. Some of
Oh,
us are
interesting.
list makers, some of us aren't list makers, whatever, and one thing or the other, it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
certainly when we look at a thing all at once, so if we've got a super long list that we can never cross all the things off, then we're going to feel quite overwhelmed
Mhm.
quite often. And then we put more things on the list that we know we can cross off just so we can cross them off, so that helps us to feel, but we don't really ever get to
Mhm,
the thing that we're avoiding.
mhm,
So it's this whole sort of practice that we have
mhm.
about, making sure that we're doing the right things.
Yeah, and the problem with that is I'm sitting and thinking about it, is that you can pretty much just reinforce the story that you're never enough
Yes.
every single time you don't complete everything on the list, or you don't hit that big thing that you kinda know you're avoiding, but you're not really acknowledging that you're avoiding.
Mhm,
Wow, all that
mhm.
does is feed that messaging.
Yes, or that you're not enough, or that you aren't, you're not productive enough, you're not capable enough.
Mhm.
I think about sometimes even this isn't the whole of it, but imposter syndrome,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
sometimes that list can be a part of
Oh
that. It's
my
not the whole
god.
thing for sure.
Yeah.
But when we don't feel like we're accomplishing to the degree that our stories tell us we should be, that reinforces
Oh,
that
yeah.
idea. So we don't wanna set systems in place that are going to create more of this for us.
Yeah. I love the fact that you pretty much just gave me de facto permission to not make lists
Yeah.
anymore.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Not that I
Yeah.
needed permission, but I like the reinforcement,
Mhm.
because it doesn't really help me.
Yep.
It doesn't really help me. For work, I can put task bars together in my email or whatever. That's just basic. What do I need to get done? But for yeah, I'm sitting here having a very interesting bodily reaction to all of this. On one hand, the talk of this has me tensed up. On the other hand, the fact that I know, not making lists and I'm realizing this about myself feels really good.
Mhm.
So I'm weirdly feeling tightness around that, but loosening up at the same time. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, it's so funny. I was talking to somebody earlier in the week and they were sort of, talking about all the things and that they needed to sort of accomplish to be able to feel like they were doing their job
Oh,
in a way that they felt like they needed to do their job, right?
mhm.
Uh, and and lists were a part of the conversation. Certainly, sort of like, am I even capable enough to do this? Part of the conversations, and then also this sense of like, um, I wanna be way further along than
Oh,
I
yeah.
currently am right now. So,
Uh-huh.
so much pressure that we automatically, without even being aware,
Yeah.
that we put on ourselves, and in an evaluatory sort of tone
Mhm.
in this moment that then amps up the anxiety and the restlessness
Mhm.
and keeps us awake at night, all of
Mhm.
those things. And so that list piece can be a part of it. And one of the things I was saying was like, well, the list piece, for example, the way we do work nowadays, that list, we don't tidy up the list and finish it up real quite nicely and then go home and not think about work until the next day.
Mhm.
Very few of us actually
Yep.
get that break,
Yep.
right? So when we're doing that list, it's just this constant feed
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah. And just hanging out in the back of our mind
Yeah.
even when we're not at work. Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. So if we're gonna do lists, making sure that we're very intentional about what we're gonna put on it.
Mhm.
Like I like that, okay, 3 at a time,
3.
or right? So that's
3.
the brain says, "Okay, I can manage that."
That's exactly why I do it.
Mhm. Mm.
I learned somewhere along this process the last few years since you and I started doing all this. I learned somewhere along the line I can make a list of 10 things. I can make a list of 20 things. I can make a list of 50 things. They could be in a week, they could be a month, and they could be in a year. There's a good chance that 3 will get done in
Mhm.
a given time frame.
Mhm.
So why am I fighting that?
Yeah.
Let's just do that.
Mhm.
And what I've noticed from that is that also gives me it takes the ease, it adds ease back into what I'm doing. It's easier to move from one to another if it's just those 3. And I think this is important too, at least it's what I've been experiencing. The more connected I am with me and connected with it might be my coworkers at a given point or whatever needs to get done or whatever needs to be shifted or whatever needs to be next, once those 3 are done, just kind of emerges.
Mhm.
And it can emerge without a whole lot of stress around it.
Mhm.
And if it happens to be something that maybe I should have gotten to earlier, but didn't, from a connected space with whoever it is, it's much easier to just go, you know what? Okay, I should have gotten to that earlier. Let me move it up the list I'm sorry that inconvenienced you.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'll make sure I'm paying closer attention to that.
Yes.
And that's it. And 999 times out of 1,000,
Mhm.
that's where it stops.
Mhm.
So much easier. That connected space matters.
And also then you're not expecting yourself to do it perfectly,
Oh,
right? Because
yeah,
that's the other part of this
that's right.
too, right? If we've
Yeah.
got to anticipate every single need of all of our coworkers and our managers and everybody else in our life,
Mhm.
and then we've got to make sure that we're measuring up to all of their needs. And maybe those are some of those on the list. They want me to
Yeah.
do this, they want me to do that, they want me to. And so we're spending a lot of energy and time in anticipation,
Yeah.
trying to
Like
predict.
trying to predict what's going to come next.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of just trusting that what really matters is going to show up no matter how much you fight it.
Yeah.
It's gonna show up,
It's
right?
true.
And that's why we're much better if we have deadlines than if we don't, right? Because when the deadline comes up, it shows up and then we get it done. So,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So, those important things are going to show up whether
Mhm.
we put it on the list
Or
and
not.
stress about it
Right.
or over anticipate all the people's needs that might be a part of this
Oh, man.
and try to do it perfectly.
Man. Uh, that would seem to me, I have a couple of clients who um, run organizations,
Mhm,
and I see that can happen for them.
mhm.
Million things coming from a number of different directions, and this drive in them, which I think comes from a good place,
Oh,
wanting
yeah.
the organization to thrive and grow and be cohesive and all those kinds of things. But the higher you are up on that ladder, the easier it could be to have more and more of a list of all these things you have to keep track of and that type of thing. So that's something I've noticed can be a real challenge for. I
Mhm,
mean, it could be for anybody, whether you're in that position or not. It's just I've been thinking of a couple clients I have who we've been talking specifically about this.
mhm, mhm,
You know, the need to anticipate everything and the sense of responsibility that comes with I have to anticipate it, I have to meet it, I have to stick the landing the first time. Nobody else can really do it, or I have to be sure it gets done.
mhm.
That's a lot of stress.
It is, and that's a great point for folks who are running larger organizations or responsible for a lot of things.
Yeah,
But even people just starting out
totally,
feel the same way.
totally.
And so they're
It's a
they're
great point.
just like in their they haven't even experienced all the things yet that one would need to experience to
Mhm,
be able to know what comes next. And they're having to anticipate
mhm.
things they haven't even experienced yet.
Yeah.
I mean, we all do this. We all can relate to this in our younger years,
Uh-huh.
getting started on something, not wanting to be a beginner, not allowing ourselves to be a toddler, right? Expecting that we need to be full on adult in this new thing that we're doing.
I love that. The idea of allowing ourselves to be new at something, to be a toddler
Mhm.
in something. I think that's important because, I've seen that too with people, clients just starting out in something, want to be somewhere other than where they are.
Mhm.
And I think it comes from a place of like they have this goal, they want to be this or they want to get there, but that distance in between where they are and where they want to go either is so intimidating, so motivating, whatever it might be, that being right where they are doesn't feel okay. Like the idea is to get through it as quickly as possible. Or flip side, I'm never going to get, this because nobody's going to take me seriously because I'm brand new.
Mhm.
And I've had the same thoughts like, well, you are brand new.
Mhm. Yeah.
So you have to have some time being brand new
Mhm.
at
Mhm.
this
Mhm.
to experience what that's like. And then you walk and then you run, and then you fly.
Mhm.
But yeah, there is that impatience. And then if you add in that perfection, you add in those lists, you can just, you're right. Somebody brand new to this can
Mhm.
burn themselves to a crisp pretty quickly.
Yeah. And I think behind it all is trying to get to ease,
Oh,
trying to
yeah.
get to safety, trying to get to that experience of like, I know this and I don't have to stress about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I just don't that I don't know that that's possible whether we're a toddler or whether we're a grandparent in whatever it is that we're doing, right?
And of course, the grandbabies are back. Of course,
No, but
that works.
right?
It's true though.
It's true.
It's true.
Like
Yeah.
like if we have a pattern of practice of stressing about
Yeah.
things needing to be perfect.
Yeah.
We're going to have that same pattern of practice no matter how much experience we get and wherever we are on the path of growth for ourselves, because it's a process that we've become used to.
Yeah.
And it's almost like our automatic pilot. It's almost like, no, I need to stress about this
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not going to be able to do it perfectly,
Right.
no matter where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want to be able to have fun with being a toddler
Yeah.
because we're setting then a practice of curiosity, of creativity, of like
Yeah.
a beginner,
Yeah.
and celebrating that, which means we know we're going to make mistakes. We know we don't have all the answers,
Mm-hmm.
and being okay with that, right? Because then when we're a grandparent in our profession,
Yeah.
well, maybe not a grandparent, but an old person, whatever,
Grandparent
whatever you want
works.
to say. But all those years of practice,
Yeah.
all those years of right,
Yeah.
we're still going to make mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah. By then you have the experience too. If you're approaching it that way, that those younger new toddlers, you have connection there. You remember that.
Mm-hmm.
You allow them to make those mistakes. You allow them to be
Mm-hmm.
curious and be excited and to,
Mm-hmm.
bounce around, and you're able to set your expectations around a model based in reality
Yeah.
rather than the headspace. Cause that's why I keep coming back to everything you just described, those pushes, that stress, those messages, it's all from this headspace. You mentioned automatic pilot. What I love about this work, doing presence-based work, is that we remind ourselves and reconnect with really where that drive really can come from. It doesn't have to be from our head.
Mm-hmm.
The pilot can be from that other space,
Mm-hmm.
and everything follows that. Because that to me, that seems to be the biggest problem. When I'm up in my head is when I'm making a million lists and going, oh my gosh, I didn't have a good day because I only got 3 things out of 50.
Mm-hmm.
That's a headspace thing.
The stories coming
Yeah.
in. Yeah. The evaluation,
Yeah.
the analyzing,
Yeah.
the critiquing,
Mhm.
those kinds of things. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so, I can just reflecting on it for myself, the cost, the self-language, the physical feelings that come with it, the physical responses,
Mm-hmm.
not feeling good, losing appetite, wanting to curl up in a ball all the time,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
feeling tired at times where I'm like, oh, eating crappy because, that'll make me feel better in the moment, but then not having the awareness that that's going to affect me for the next 3 days,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those thoughts, those stories can definitely impact
Yeah.
how our body's feeling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I guess maybe as I'm thinking about the power of threes, if you will, it really reduces that body stress for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just 3.
Yeah.
And then if I get the 3 done, I can go, all right, what can I add in?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have time today for another 3?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I need a 1? Or is this good for today?
Mm-hmm.
Line up my 3 for tomorrow. Let it go.
Mm-hmm.
I've done both.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
so much better.
Right. Right. And then you don't have to sort of stick to a structure
Mm-hmm.
that may or may not work for your energy level
Yeah.
that particular day.
Right.
When we lock ourselves into, okay, this worked once, so now I have to do it all the time this way.
Mm-hmm.
We're not really looking in around okay, what's my energy level here?
Yeah.
What or I notice myself not wanting to do this particular thing. What's that about?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or I notice myself not wanting to do that particular thing and I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Just those
Yeah.
subtle awarenesses
Yeah.
that make a difference.
And then the intention, the choice of, from a place of intention, then,
Mhm.
all right, I'm noticing I don't want to do this thing. I'm going to choose right now. Am I going to do this now?
Yeah.
And if I'm not,
Mhm. Yeah.
am I all right with that?
I learned recently enough that when avoidance hits, that is a signal to do the thing.
Do the thing. Yep.
Do the thing. So it's not, oh, I probably shouldn't do that right now. It's actually, oh, I'm wanting to avoid this. That's a signal from my body just to do it,
Let's get it done.
right? Not let it accumulate.
That's probably a good thing for me to be testing out as we're trying out I'm not doing anything. I'm not busy at all. As we try that out with other unsuspecting people,
Yes.
except for listeners who are now going to be aware that we might do it to them. I might need to try that out too.
Mhm,
Is see what happens, like build my threes off of anything
mhm.
that's popping up that I might be avoiding.
'Cause we
and see what
all
happens.
avoid.
We all
We
do.
all avoid. If we turned it on its head
Oh yeah.
and said, "Oh, no, this is an urge to actually do the thing." And we just
Ooh.
went and did the thing.
Ooh.
Whew.
Ooh. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do that because
Okay.
there's some things I'm avoiding.
Oh, yeah, me too. Mhm.
All right. Well, this was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
So lists, thumbs down. At
Thumbs
least longs down.
Thumbs down. Yeah, long list, thumbs down.
Long list, thumbs down.
That's your takeaway.
All right. That and well, there's a lot.
Yeah,
We covered a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So good to have you back in.
Yeah, nice to be back.
Yeah, it
Fun.
was great. So,
Mhm.
and thank you to all of you for listening to another episode of Breaking Up with Our BS. Make sure you check out our YouTube channel under Breaking Up with Our BS, our Facebook page under the same name. And if you missed any of this episode or any other episodes, you can get them wherever you get your podcasts. And we really appreciate you subscribing, leaving us a review, send us a note. Love to hear from you. And we will be back next week with something else to talk about. And until then, I'm JDK Winnikin.
And I'm Tawny Santabria.
We will see you later. Don't make that list. Throw that list.
Stop it now. I'm here.